blurry. Yo, what's up, bros? It's a British episode, as we mentioned last week.
Bloody hell!
Bloody hell, mate! We're going.
Harry.
I'm a bit Australian as well. Crikey. Hello everyone, and welcome to
I'm
the
from
10th.
Liverpool.
No, the 11th episode, where we will recap the 9th week and go over the 10th week of this beautiful fantasy
he's
football
right, Dan.
season.
He's spot on.
And the
This
eighth.
beautiful, beautiful fantasy football season. How is everyone feeling about where their team is at? Just over halfway.
I feel good about last week.
Is that right? I
We have
also
the-
feel good about last
We have the 3 highest scorers on the pod this week, and
As you
one
can
of them
see-
lost.
As you can see, 3 people are once again here. Oh, I'm blurry from the get-go this time. God damn it.
Blurry from a gecko.
There's 3 of us here. We're missing one of them. It's Nick. He lost. He sucks. He's got to work.
There's
Nick,
this
I'm
weird-
listening. You're dead to me.
There's this weird trend where every time Nick loses, he happens to not be on the podcast.
Super weird trend. But yeah, we'll miss him. He actually got in a really, really horrific bear crawling accident where he just bear crawled his little paws away. So
He
prayers
didn't
up to him.
understand what bear crawling meant, and he thought he had to crawl under a bear.
That's
and
right.
It just did not turn out well.
With that being said, let's jump straight into how we all did in week 9. The matchup recap. We'll go ahead and jump straight into that beautiful matchup you two had. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Sounds like a
Yeah, what a matchup, Josh. You haven't
Sounds
really
like a
talked
Zoom.
much since it.
Dan.
I flew too close to the sun and talked too much casual shit during the day. I deserved it.
Hey, you were being an ass.
Not enough shit was talked, in my opinion. But we had 2 of the 3 highest scorers in this matchup between our own Daniel Ivanhoe versus our own Josh Caliendone. How are you guys feeling after it?
I'm monkey pod myself. Leo said that he was going to be the highest scoring team, and I told Dan to take that away from Leo, and it caused me to lose because the Chargers popped off.
Yeah, it was just
That was
like
disgusting.
the best. Like nerve-wracking. I was down by basically 11 points going into Monday Night Football, and the Chargers D was just like every second of those first like 4
Immediately.
plays, I was like, "Come on, they're gonna come on, do something," and then just fucking return punt. That was so
Punt
sick.
return. That was
That was
insane. I've never
so
seen that.
hard.
Also hilarious, you guys had the entire Baltimore Ravens team playing in
Yeah.
this matchup.
Yeah, and I
So-
came I came
realized
out
that,
on
yeah.
top in that situation. I had
Significantly.
I had the higher scores in it, and I still managed to lose because the problem is they got up too big. So Gus Edwards literally only had 5 carries the entire game, 2 of which were touchdowns, which is
Mm.
great. But they switched over to Justice Hill really early, and I'm
And the
pretty
Ricky,
sure.
right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they were just. I mean, it makes me feel good because it's like, okay, Gus is probably the lead back, but it hurt my
Yeah.
soul.
That's tough. I mean, 26 from a defense is just asinine.
Yeah, I'm not even mad. None of my
can be
team had a
mad.
bad
You can be
game.
upset.
Jamar Chase got hurt in the game and ended up with 6.1. So
Yeah. Tough week, but I mean, good showing from both of you. It's got to put a little bit of confidence in you moving forward, trying to make a playoff push that you're both so desperately needing, I would assume. Next up, we had
GG's
quite a
though, Dan.
matchup here. Omega Sharkus against God Didn't Save Me. The wagon has been derailed by yours truly. I mean, if you have a fantasy football asset that will drop 51.8 points, it's really hard to not win after that, I would say.
26 from a defense is asinine, but 51 from a quarterback
is
Just
bewildering. What's another good
Bullshit?
adjective?
I didn't realize how hard of a carry job that was until I'm looking at your. I mean, obviously, Amari Cooper had a great game, but 5.1, 0.8, negative
Yeah.
1. I mean, that 51 is hanging heavy.
It was
That's
massive.
awesome.
It would have been incredibly embarrassing to lose, having dropped that 51, which I'm sure happened to a couple of people. But I mean, I had to slot in Jaylen Warren. I had a couple of injuries as well as bye weeks this week.
I mean, what's impressive too is you won by 48. Like,
yeah, a lot.
Really, I mean, granted, it's Koenig scoring 75. But like, you didn't really need the 51 bomb, you know.
Yeah. It was a good game for the program.
Koenig's second highest score was his kicker.
What?
Koenig's second highest score was his kicker
by 0.8.
Yeah, I mean,
Youngway just popped off.
He's an animal. I mean, he's a freak.
Sucks, dude. Look at Ryan.
Ryan's team is bad, man, but he was making a push. These last couple of games, really.
To be fair, Hollywood is going to look really good. Is going to look better now that Kyler's back.
He did, in fact, drop Trey McBride.
Crazy.
So he is now available in the waiver wire if anyone's interested. But I think my team, once I get James Conner back, is going to start looking pretty juicy. Next up. That's close. We have Julia Roberts, Tommy G against. You're gonna have to help.
Jabihol Djibouti.
Jabihol Djibouti.
Yeah.
English isn't my first language. I apologize.
Swahili is
because it's African. Tom barely sneaked it out. Now that I'm kind of taking a closer look at this.
Yeah, he was. I mean, yeah, Tom.
He said that he stopped watching Sunday Night Football because he knew if he looked, Joe Mixon would score another touchdown.
Oh man, that's tough. Another game where the entire Miami Dolphins was in participation. Yeah, I mean, Sam is in dire need of a second running back. I think he cannot keep starting Roschon Johnson / Dameon Pierce.
Dameon, yeah.
Devon Achane is going to be back.
You're right. Talk about getting 23 points from your defense. Wasn't enough for this guy, eh?
Yeah, go Cardinals.
The tough part is looking at Sam's team. It's not like he had somebody on the bench that he could have started instead of Roschon.
No,
that would have got him that win. So he can't even do that to himself and be like, if I would have done this.
Yeah, I don't think he was like going on a limb like Roschon Johnson's gonna pop off. I think it was all he could do.
He is apparently following the mantra of rostering 3 defenses is the way to win.
The Nick Radford strategy.
But maybe another running back might help him out in this situation, as opposed to 3 defenses. But Thomas's team looks strong, all things considered. It's solid.
Thomas's team is getting points from the guys who you don't expect necessarily, because when you've got a combined 13 points from Tony Pollard and Devonta Adams, you're probably expecting to lose most weeks. So
yeah, I did not expect Jalen Hurts to score points. That was crazy.
Well, yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
That's
his first and second round pick.
It is going to be tough with this Eagles bye week. I mean, it's going to be tough for both teams actually, because we have Eagles bye week and Dolphins bye week. So it'll be interesting who they try to slot in to replace that production.
Does this matchup mean that the Eagles are officially better than the Dolphins?
Ooh.
I never thought they weren't.
Neither did I, but I'm asking if
The Dolphins are just explosive offense. I think the Eagles are better.
I think the Eagles are a more complete team. I like Dan's. Yeah. But the offense would definitely, I would assume, go to the Miami Dolphins. And this was a huge playoff implication matchup as well. I mean, Sam is now sitting outside of the playoffs looking in, while Tom's just on the inside. So keep an eye on that. Next up, a bun. Between the bottom of the league here. This matchup just got my jimmies rustling, dude. I don't know. It just fucking riled me up.
Did you like sniff some glue before this episode?
Tons of glue.
Hell yeah!
It was actually all baby powder.
You sniffed it or you put it in your butt?
It's inside of me. I'm not gonna tell you which orifice.
inside of me.
I mean, do we want to talk about this game?
Aaron's team should be good, and it's just so upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He started George Pickens.
Everything there tells you that it should be a good team.
He fell for the Will Levis hype train. Not good.
I still believe.
Travis Kelce finished with 2.9 as a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, why didn't you start Cole Kmet over Travis Kelce flag?
Not good. So,
I think Cam Akers is on IR now, too.
Cam Akers is on
started 2 Packers and 3 Commanders players and still got a W. I mean, that's impressive.
Hey, man. God, that's so bad. But
and 2 Raiders.
Oh, God.
Wow, this man. And he's got another Redskin on the bench. What?
He's
got another Commander on the bench.
I kind of like seeing that. Good.
He needs to change his team name to the Tank Commanders.
The Josh Rosen football team. Pretty cool to see that all of Josh's starters won their football games, their NFL games.
Look at that! Look at all those W's.
Good for Rosen is
well when 8 of your players are Commanders players.
Yeah, it's only 3 teams, so it's not that crazy. Happens actually pretty often.
That's hilarious, honestly. That's actually so funny. Next up, yeah, that was just a bad matchup. We don't got to, talk about it too long. Next up, what should have been a great matchup ended up
poo-poo stinky,
being pretty poo-poo stinky. Trevor's team has now become entirely a Chargers propaganda train.
What is with everybody in our league having these weird stacks of just massive amount?
I agree.
Is that the way to win?
Up.
Is that the way to win? Because it's multiple teams who are winning games in our league, and I'm not a part of that, and I keep losing. So
I mean, it makes sense that if it's a good team, you want as many players from that good team.
And that's why you get the Commanders.
When it's the Commanders, it's not as good a play. But Mike's Hard pulls out the win in another heavily playoff implicated matchup.
In spite of everything Arthur Smith attempted to do to him, he still gets a W.
I can't imagine having a player on that Arthur Smith team. Could you, Dan?
I could. Do you want to know what it's like, Dan?
No.
How many Falcons games you watch this year?
I plan on continuing to not watch any.
They're electric. It's an electric atmosphere. When you're
just gotta unleash him. I'm not worried. It's a good.
He gave a 5-minute explanation today why they're not using him in the red zone or within the 5.
He's gonna get fired before the end of the season, I think.
Well, he's a billionaire son, so
yeah, it's bad. It's but good. Hey, good stuff, Trevor. It really was looking grim for a bit there. In that because he was down going into that Monday night game with the Chargers. He had 3 players, definitely 2 of his 3 best players, arguably 2 of his 3 best players going. And he just needed, 20-something to take the lead. And it was a bit touch and go there.
I think it was less than that. I think he only needed 8 or something like that. He was going to win. Yeah.
No, it was in the 20s. No,
Speaking
No, there's 3 players, 29 points, and he won by
So it was
12.
30.
So 17. So
Yeah.
17.
speaking of this game, did any of you see Dallas Goddard's injury?
no.
Yes.
Was it gross?
No, it wasn't really gross. It was just, I mean, I'm shocked it doesn't happen more when people stiff arm. He's
Oh,
stiff
it was because
armed.
he's stiff armed?
He's stiff armed, and the guy that he stiff armed just grabbed his arm and pulled him down that way because that was all he could get. That was all he could grab onto. And when I watched it happen, I was like, how does this not happen more often?
He's got to work on his stiff arm game.
Well, now I'm
My favorite
afraid
thing is
for Derrick
is when
Henry.
when they tackle each other by their hair. That makes me so happy.
It's part of the
This guy has
uniform.
super long hair, and then it's
What
just
does
like,
that make you happy?
It's, I don't know. It's like someone flaunting their hair. Look at my hair, and then they just like use
That
it
happened
as
to
part of the
Larry
uniform.
Fitzgerald multiple
You're
times.
projecting.
Yeah, I remember when Troy Polamalu had a pick, and he got just ripped down by his hair. I'll never forget that.
You're
Love that
projecting.
shit.
This is because Dan doesn't have hair.
Whoa, nobody said that. Dan, hit him with one.
Dan, I'm balding too.
You're an asshole.
Yeah. All right, and that was it for week. Wait, no. One more.
The literal matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
This is the worst week we've had.
The matchup of the week recap. Drake continues to win.
Nick's first 2 guys hit their projections almost perfectly.
His team didn't even fucking do that well, I feel like.
I would have beat him.
His kicker is quarterback.
His kicker got 4 points.
Which is the number 1
Four-
kicker.
Oh, I thought you were about Nick.
Oh, his
I mean, that's Drake's thing. That's been his thing, though. Like, his team does not all perform well at the same time. If the dude scores 170, but half of them will do well, and he'll score 110.
it's true.
Yeah, 22 from Dalton Schultz. Which, to be entirely fair, is really funny to see happen to Nick. Because on Thanksgiving, Dalton Schultz dropped like 20 points against me to end my season last year. So,
Oh man,
it's
that's
cathartic.
tough. Question marks are starting to pop up around Kenneth Walker as well.
Snap by Sharp.
Yeah, Sharp and Poopy's gonna.
But he's
and
got
then
Sharp on his bench, so.
Taysom Hill had an outing. I believe
Taysom Hill was a
nobody on
quarterback
Nick's
again.
team scored a touchdown.
No, receiving touchdown.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor scored a touchdown. Okay, but outside of Jonathan Taylor, aside from obviously his quarterback,
So, like, of the 3 or 4 positions that typically score touchdowns,
5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Defenses can
Receiving.
do it. Your defense did it, Dan.
That's
It's
not
true.
a receiving touchdown.
but
Oh,
yeah,
like a
tough.
standard one.
A hell of a skid.
And Josh Allen had a rushing one, to be fair.
Yeah, some would call it a poop skid.
So a hell of a skid by
I would know a
Bugatti.
lot about those.
Yeah,
Nick.
yeah.
Nick has tons of poopy skids.
That man has gone
Um,
through more pairs of underwear than anyone.
It's great because
And
we all know
anyone.
he's not listening to this.
He keeps Haynes in business.
He is the only reason Fruit of the
No,
Loom is still alive.
He's a Fruit of the Looms. Yeah, look at him.
You think he's wearing those Fruit of the Loom all the way down to almost his knees underwear?
Has anybody looked at Drizzle's schedule? Do we think he's going to lose another game the rest of the season?
Yeah, he plays me. No, he doesn't play me, actually.
But
Do we
I
want
don't-
to
he
take
doesn't
just a
play me.
quick peek, see what we're
I'm
looking
playing
at?
play
him, I
Dan?
know. Yeah.
Let's
If he plays
see.
Dan, it's over for him.
And
This
I think
week
he's
is
playing
who?
me. I could be wrong. Go to the full schedule.
full schedule.
Where
I'm
do you see
pointing
that?
to the screen.
Above current matchup. There you go.
He's got Slant Man. That's an easy win.
Dan's
Wu-Tang?
getting the dub.
It's a good week for me. Week
Wu-Tang.
11.
CMC Cook could be a tough one. Koenig's a free win.
But yeah, I mean that's
Waxman
He's
might be
got
fighting for his life.
He's got a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way.
And he only
Um,
lost to Trevor by less than a point.
Yeah. He only beat me by 10 because I started CJ Stroud instead of Jared Goofball.
Oopsie.
Fuck you, Josh. But hey, there's a
What?
chance this
CJ
man only loses one game.
CJ Stroud popped off this week. It's all good now.
Doesn't matter. With that being said, Dan, how did we do with our pick'ems?
we did
New segment because I accidentally clicked on it. Stat corrections of the week.
Yeah.
Did
that's funny.
anybody get stat corrected?
Jonathan Ward for the Tennessee Titans.
Sick.
He's credited with an extra tackle.
Oh, good for him, actually. That's awesome.
Yo, the podcast.
Looking at the pod curse this week, dude. We had 2 sweeps and they both
Oh
lost.
God, I went 1-5.
It's amazing. I went 3-3. Leia went 3-3. Josh went 1-5. He sucks. Nick went 2-4. He also sucks. Looking at the total
pod
standings.
curse-
Leo, you reverse pod curse
It's
yourself.
so
That's
rigged.
impressive.
I said it. I was like, this will be the test. Because everyone picked
Yeah.
Koenig. I was like, this will be the test. If I pick
Yeah, you're
Koenig,
like, should I do
the
it? And then
pod
you had
curse
Nick
is
decide
real.
it. So the standings,
Wow.
I'm miles ahead in first. at
Miles
30
ahead.
wins. Leo's miles below me at 29 wins.
Miles.
And then Nick's down in third at 26. He's under 500 now, and Josh in last at 25 wins.
It's just what I do, baby. It's what I do.
Miles.
Miles Teller, guest on the pod this week.
Looking at power
That's
rankings.
crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, go ahead.
Going right into power rankings this week. Week 10. Driz Drake still holding it down at number 1. Jim 2.
Yeah, how many weeks is that?
Leo 3. Trevor 4. Thomas 5. Nick 6. Dan 7. Sam 8. Caliendo 9. Koenig 10. Rosen 11. Flegg holding it down at 12.
Good for you, Dan. Big jump this week.
Yeah, big jumps from me going up and Nick going down. Trevor
You and
going
Nick are
up
almost
too,
kissing
honestly.
on that chart
Wait,
now.
Nick was all the way at 1 at one point? Recently?
Week 8, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Oh, we cursed him so bad.
Who else was? Oh, Tom. We really don't love putting Drake at 1 now that I'm looking at it.
I mean,
He's
Drake's
had it the
been
longest
either
of anyone.
1, 2, or 3. That's a pretty good.
That's
a lot of
solid.
love.
I just thought
That's the
he had
most
been
love.
1. I thought he had been 1 for like 6 or
Yeah.
7 weeks straight.
He's got 4
No.
total weeks. Or 5 total weeks. That's the most by far.
Week
Easily.
after week 8, or in week 8, if I remember correctly, Drake scored like 99. I think it was against me, something like that.
Was that
And then
hidden
had
injury?
something, and Nick had like an insane game. I think Nick's team like exploded.
Who is this
He's an
Dark
injury or
Brown
something
that
like
has
that.
had a tremendous drop off? Is that Sam?
Oh, this is this right here?
No. That's Koenig.
Oh.
He's got a glow up.
Yeah. Poop color
Um,
Koenig is is that one.
That's
This is
Sam.
a
That's
a
Waxman.
burgundy. This is wax.
Wow.
We had
he was
Waxman back-to-back weeks at 1. Good for him.
back-to-back- Oh,
Yeah,
Dolphins.
his team was, it was
Dolphins.
the Dolphins
Oh.
weeks when they both
They scored
all had
70.
60 points each. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but ever since then he's been going straight down.
Poor flag.
We're not good at this.
Oh, absolutely not. The fact that James scored 83 points and lost and then didn't. Pretty cool.
And don't
But,
worry, I outscored James this week and moved down 1.
It'll be interesting now that we're getting to the thick of it as far as playoffs go. I want to go ahead and show like the actual standings really quick, Dan.
Dan's thick
Yeah,
with
have
it.
to stop.
That way we can kind of compare and
Yeah, we're
contrast.
getting there. Which we
let me zoom
noticed
in
that
a little.
ESPN's been correcting their own standings or something.
Yeah, so as of this morning, breaking news as of this morning, King Drizzle had clinched a playoff spot.
Literally had an X next to his name.
Had an X next to his name. No longer the case, apparently. Some fuckery has gone on. And he no
ESPN was
longer
like,
has.
oh wait, Flegg might bang out. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
That's quite literally what they text Nick earlier today. They
But,
sent an apology.
Here is the current standings. The playoff line, it gets drawn right here. So Nick technically is the last playoff team at this current time. You can see we have a gaggle of geese down here.
Oh,
at
we're the 3 and 6 gaggle. I love
the
it.
3 and 6 gags down here, who all technically still have a chance.
All of us do. I mean, we would keep talking about Drake's 8 wins, but it's just Mugatu's 5 wins you need to get to.
That's all you need. And there's three teams there. So I mean, technically, you have three
Huge
open
amount of-
slots
Yeah.
that the gaggle
Three
is
hu-
fighting for.
3 huge slots. Oh, slots,
Um,
slots.
But yeah, Drizzle at 99%, myself at 97, and Trevor at 91. Obviously, these percentages apparently mean nothing because you could just get playoff clinches taken away randomly.
Yeah, my
Um,
percentage was at 23 this morning, and now it's at 16.
Yeah,
We should-
I don't know what
No, go ahead,
AI.
sorry.
I just don't know what calculations ESPN is using for this.
If you want to scroll down, we should give some claps to 3 folks here. We had 3 people eclipse the 1,000-point mark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
one
go
of them's
ahead.
3 and one of them's 3
So-
and 6.
So this is the regular standings. You can kind of eye where the PF and PA allocations lie. But if we take a look, 3 teams eclipsed 1,000. One of them being a crisp 3 and 6 Wu-Tang Dan.
That
Can you do the
literal-
points against now?
That end of the
Make me
game
do
sack.
We'll get there.
Got you
Danny.
over.
We'll get there, Bubba.
Yeah.
Myself and Trevor in the bottom 5,
Second
Uh,
and third team.
currently sitting in second and third. Now, if we look at points against, Ryan Koenig is first, as is Tradish, followed up by Tommy G, and then Dan.
And then
both-
Trevor.
Third points for and third
That's-
points against.
yeah, that's-
which
Trevor's
is-
thing is an
Trevor's
anomaly.
is very surprising. Yeah,
He just
he is
yeah, he
6
just
and
got
3. He has the 4th lowest and the 4th most points against.
I
That's
think
crazy.
that is a monument to how useless points against is, because you can just have 2 bad weeks where you get scored 180 and 170.
I mean,
And
yeah,
then-
like I think a better argument is that head to head is useless. All that should matter is in points for.
Drake also
But not
Legally.
points against.
Drake is also
Yeah.
leading the league in points for and has the least points against.
Who is second? Oh, that's me. By a significant amount.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
I thought
But
it didn't
also
matter.
look-
Now it matters
but look-
that you're in second.
Yeah,
But,
dude,
I
because
mean,
who gives
Keep
a
in mind, Aaron has the 3rd least points for. He's last place in the league.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's crazy. It makes me so
I can't
sad.
believe
I
can't
have
believe
that
you do that to him.
extra that extra sheet on my Excel of like how depressed I get when I look at other people's schedule.
Pl-
If I would
please
have
show
that
it.
schedule.
Please
I'd be
show it.
7 and- I'll show it.
Please show it. I think the people need to see what you're talking about.
It's just like makes me depressed on other schedules. If I had their schedule, what would my record be? If like
This is
Drake
how-
would be 7 and 2. Leo through Jim, I'd be 5 and 4. Leo, Nick, Rosen, Josh, Jim.
Love that
He's
if you had
7, 4, and
Tom's
6,
schedule,
my
it'd
own
be 2 and
6.
7.
I know, which is pretty crazy. But like,
So
you
there's
know,
somebody
Vic's-
doing worse than you are. Like someone has gotten unluckier than you have.
Well,
Tom has
it's
been
based
more
off of my
successful.
points for. It's based off of
Somebody
my
would
points
have
for.
gotten.
No. It's not somebody. This is just for me. This is just my personal points for against who
Gotcha.
they played that week.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So the point is, like, you'd expect.
Question.
Everyone should be in the middle here, but I'm not. I'm way at the bottom. Just 'cause of
Are you also
matchup.
calculating what our records would be if we were to do head-to-head matchups as well as?
Oh my god! If Dan started doing the math on if we did against average,
right here?
Yeah. So I'm still second.
Well, that's both. That's doing both. So this is versus mean here. This is doing both. To be honest, it's really not too different. I think the biggest swing was like mine doesn't even swing that much. These are the percentage of win change. So
I mean,
green
I
means
drum-
you get more wins.
I look
Red
at
means you get
mine.
less. So yeah, you're still on the second layout, but your percentage went down.
Right.
I would be 150%. I'd be doing 150% better. That hurts my soul.
You'd be 9 and
I don't
9.
want to look. I don't want to look at this anymore.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
See,
I
that's
think-
why the name of the sheet is Sad Dan.
Well, I mean, those standings are fairly similar.
It is pretty close.
I'd be in the playoffs right now
close.
because I'd have more points for than Sam.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I like that. Keep track of that. We'll take a look at it
Don't
at the
tell
end
me
of
what
the
to do.
season.
I'm gonna
All
do
right.
what I want to do.
Don't
Do you
kill
want to
yourself.
kiss me?
No.
Anyways,
So
let's.
neither of those.
Oh,
Did we already do power rankings?
yeah.
Next
We have
up,
matchups now.
let's look at what Week 10 holds in store for us.
Oh.
Matchup preview.
You
We'll
said
go
that like there's going to be
backwards.
a ghost this week.
We'll go backwards this
That was
time.
2 weeks ago. That was last week. Actually.
Spooky.
Was it ghost?
Josh
It was
Kelly and
Halloween.
Derp
Oh.
versus Let CMC Cook, who is back at his CMC full strength. Which, something I would like to point out is CMC has now had his bye week and is still the number one running back
So gross.
in the league. I'm going to go with James.
I'm taking James, and this is the first time I'm going against myself, but it's because I don't know if Jamar Chase is going to play this week. He said yesterday, he said Monday that his back wasn't right, or no, it was Tuesday. He said his back wasn't right after that game, and he did not practice today. It's a Wednesday, but still, after saying your back was not right and you were extremely stiff, to not practice
Right.
at all is concerning. So, in my first time going against myself, I'm going to take James.
That was just the longest explanation of negging I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, Josh,
How do you feel
or
about
James?
Keaton Mitchell? You're gonna slaughter him.
Nah, Keaton Mitchell's just there as my lottery ticket to see if maybe they're switching over to him.
You just didn't want Dan to get him.
It
The
was
fact that
crazy
Dan and I
both
had
put
the
in same
exact
amount.
same amount, and I just happened
And
to get
that
it
you
off
were
of
ahead
waiver
in the waiver.
position.
Which is crazy. 'Cause I feel like you always do waivers. Like, how do you have a higher?
I haven't been putting in waiver claims for multiple weeks now. I just
You
wake
just
up at
add
6
after,
a.m.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with James as well. I think James is gonna throttle. I think Josh is gonna have the saddest third week in a row playing the most points for it.
Not the
Christian
throttling,
McCaffrey's good for
dude.
40 this week.
Not the throttlage.
Nick did take me, which is not ideal.
I have a very funny stat once we get to the betting section about Nick's
it-
pick, as
is
I
it-
like to do.
Nick's quick stat of the week.
No, not unfortunately. Nick's quick stat of the week is
It's Leo's
I have to
pretentious
work.
stat of the week.
I do have the number one kicker though,
you do now have the number one kicker, Dustin Hopkins.
the real
Um,
D Hop baby.
Yeah,
Suck my
but
dick, Dan.
I mean, Josh, you gotta pull off a pretty significant winning streak here, right?
God, if
In
I
order
win this
to-
game, I'm going to be insufferable.
I think you could easily push James out of the playoffs here as well with this W. But James's team is solid.
It's good.
Any news on Jay Jettas? Because I think that makes James's team significantly weaker.
Jettas is not playing this week. He already said. I read reports that he's very unlikely to play this week.
Bless you. Didn't they say week 12? Or no, I'm thinking about someone else.
Thank
What'd
you.
you say?
I thought they said week 12 for him, but I might be thinking about someone else.
Next up.
Oh man, their bye is week 13. That's a tough spot for them to be.
Next up, God didn't save me against Mike's Hardy Nerio. What?
Give me that Trevor piece.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to not pick Trevor in this spot.
I just can't trust Koenig after what he did to me last week.
Heaney gets DeMont back this week.
He does. No
Mock
P.
memory.
Mahomes though.
He's
Yeah.
riding
No.
hard with Gino.
He's got Gino on the Manders, though, at home.
Oh,
Bro,
Rosen's
Gino-
going to be hurting.
That is true. I don't know, dude. Oh man. Oof. Ow.
He's starting
Eesh.
tank. I do love that.
It means
Yeah,
Tank's
didn't
not going to have a good week.
Didn't start him last week. Just wait till the sharp pick this week, my boy. Wait till the sharp pick this week. I'm gonna go Trevor. It's hard to not.
Are we going to
Especially he
podcast
just-
him?
He just got a brand new running back, a brand new tight end. It's hard not to give
Got
the edge to the shiny new toys.
They look good in that lineup. Who are you taking, Dan?
I
He's
really
thinking.
do want to go with Koenig. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I'm up by 1 game, so that's fine. I can risk the biscuit.
Nick
Were you just gonna
did
copy me
take-
for everything?
He took Trevor. What?
Yeah, Nick did
Nothing.
take Trevor.
What, Leo?
Nothing, dude.
You picked Trevor.
I was gonna say, was your plan to just pick me for pick the same as me, so you just always are a game ahead?
That would be
for the rest-
hilarious.
for
But
the
no,
rest of the
I
season.
just picked a different team. So what the fuck?
I
are you
know it
talking
was a
about?
joke, my boy.
What the
This-
fucking fuck?
I mean,
Fun fact about this game: this is like when I write the names down. This is the 2 longest names.
Also,
So it's
fun
like
fact
very challenging.
that that we looked into, Trevor and I, is so Trevor played James last week. Trevor actually, surprisingly enough, gets a buff whenever he plays against James for whatever reason. We don't want to speculate as to why that is, but for some reason, Trevor just does significantly better when he's playing against James. I don't know, or James actually just does significantly worse. I don't really. There's some weird connection going on there, but I don't think he'll have the same issue with Koenig. I think this will probably be pretty cut and dry as far as winners and losers.
No,
Next
no.
up,
Oh,
we have the first place team against the 12th place team.
12th
King
place
Drizzle
team
against
projected out
Sandman.
score though.
And look at the projections.
Last place team is
It's crazy.
projected to win as it stands. Now, I don't think Flag has looked at his team for a couple of days now. Or he just trusts Will Levis that much.
I mean, they're all saying like that. Tennessee.
I mean-
fuck them up.
I mean, to be fair, look, if the way I would look at it, I do think Trevor Lawrence is probably the move. But the way I would look at it is he just got a long week. He was named the starter for the rest of the season. And Tampa Bay is a better matchup than San Francisco, even if San Francisco is not playing well. But their defense is great coming off a bye. I mean, their defense is great and they're coming off a bye. So I get where
That's
he's
fair.
at right there.
Bye week hill for King Drizzle. AJ Brown, Puka Nakua, and the number 2 kicker.
I'm doing it, man. I'm taking Aaron.
Did we see his Cinderella story brewing up here? Now, it is important to note we can't all pick Aaron, otherwise he's going to lose.
No, Nick already helped us out on that.
Nick
We're
took
fine.
Drake.
Okay, Flag. I'm going to pick Flag on this one. I just think it's too much to overcome. He's going with a, what's it called? Like a heavy lineup.
Heavy
Drizzle
flow.
is going,
Yeah.
rolling out 2
It's
tight
called a
ends.
heavy
The 12 person. It's called 12 personnel.
12 personnel.
He's got-
That's what I was looking for.
He's got
Drizzle's
2
rolling
tight
out
ends.
12 personnel
like-
with Dalton
I
Schultz
just-
and Taysom Hill.
I feel like my trust in Drake has really. I mean, it's the bye weeks, but like
It's the
Kareem Hunt is not the move for me, and Kenneth Walker's on the down. I'm gonna go Flag too.
I could also see Houston popping off again. I don't know how safe the Bengals really are.
Yeah, I don't. He also might not play them,
Just
but
wait
I'm
and pick them
surprised
up.
to see that it's projected 3.1.
I think he
Oh, he
picked
picked
them.
them up.
Just
Did he
wait till
really?
the sharp of the week.
Oh,
I can
God,
go
he's
verify that, but
It's not the sharp
Houston's
of the
gonna-
week. I don't know why I
Gonna
said
take a
that, but
dump. I mean, yeah, he was Flags.
yeah, he picked him up today.
I'll just throw out the word flat for now. Next up,
No,
I don't
way.
know. Take George Pickens out.
You don't like the George Pickens play here, my man?
No, the fact that he couldn't get 2 feet down last week pissed me off so much.
You don't like the George Pickens
He's still
play.
young.
He
Dude.
officially requested it like a release, didn't he?
I don't know, but he couldn't get
Whatever.
2 feet down. It made me
Whatever.
mad.
Next up, what has the highest implications as far as playoffs go? We have Julia Roberts versus Bugatu, Tom v. Nick. Tom heavily hampered by bye weeks this week. So he's projected to lose by almost 20. Um,
But Nick has to start Jahan Dotson.
What?
Nick's
I don't know. Good.
Nick starting Jahan Dawson and Christian Watson, who has been
Terrible.
horrific.
You could cut that guy, and only Ryan Koenig would pick him up.
Only Ryan would.
His model has good looks on it.
Exactly.
I feel almost gross taking Nick, which goes against what I just said, or what I just did with Aaron.
I think really the main issue is that Justice Hill is currently in the starting lineup.
Which
For Julia
hypothetically is the
Roberts.
third running back on the
Yeah. And there's
Yeah,
just
pick up
no.
someone else. Tom.
Yeah, he just doesn't have anything.
I mean, he's been talking
That's
about wanting
good.
to do a trade this week, so maybe
I
he
offered
pulls out a
him.
trade.
I offered him a pretty decent trade the other day, and
Same.
he quite literally said, "Let me look into it," and then never texted me back. So
I have been trying to Bill Cosby him for weeks now. I mean, I send him the worst possible trades.
He's got some good options on the waiver wire too.
But I am going to go. Nick's starting Alexander
As-
Madison too.
I know,
As we stand-
Nick has like 4 players that are not going to do well.
as we stand
Josh Allen might pop.
right now, because Thomas is starting Justice Hill, I am taking Nick.
Can't change it.
I
Oh,
obviously
man.
can't change it, but I'm going based off of what I can see in front of me.
I don't love the
Yeah.
Brock Purdy play. I don't love the Justice Hill, obviously. I don't love Devontae this week.
He's gonna get sauced.
You don't like Brock the Cock, dude? What the F?
Dude, he has
He's
had
been
a
bad 3
woeful
weeks in a
last
row.
3 weeks. Yeah.
I mean, a
One of
bye
them-
might help him get it together,
one of
but
them was a bye week, but man,
my dog was eating a toy.
I think Tony Pollard could drop 50 points against the Giants.
What did he do against him in week 2?
Nothing, actually. He did
He
not.
hasn't done
I mean,
as
their
shit.
defense,
well as you
their
would have
defense was
Week one.
crazy, but
Week 1, he scored 21 points.
I'm
he
going
scored
with
21
Nick.
in week 1.
I'm going with Nick. I just want
Nick-
chaos.
Nick took himself. Is that a
No.
sweep?
I'm gonna pick Tom. Just
Okay.
No,
I don't feel good about it either way. I think Tom figures out a better running back, and I think
We could have made Nick lose.
Deserves to lose.
We could have guaranteed Nick's loss.
We could have made Nick
He's
lose.
also the only one to have
reject it, right?
broken the pod curse, though.
It's
It's true. All right. Next up, we got myself, Omega Sharkus, against Jabihol Djibouti.
Give me Leo.
Jabihol, fun fact, I'm getting the Dolphins owner on Dolphins bye week. So
Oh, Leo just adds to the memes.
That's the problem with points against.
Just adding to
there.
the memes, man.
You're such a piece of shit.
I get the Dolphins owner on Dolphins bye
I'm
week.
picking Leo, and I hate it.
I'm going to keep it a stack also. I do think every check mark should be on Leo's side.
Including the Dalton Kincaid.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very. I'm probably not starting Jalen Warren. I'm probably starting this guy if everything goes well.
He got activated.
James Conner. He got activated to
He got-
return, which means
Yeah.
there's a 21-day window.
Yeah.
But the way
Um,
that Gannon was talking, it sounds like he's ready to go.
it does sound like he will be coming out. I kind of want to not start CJ Stroud this week. I think I would rather start Jared Goff against the Chargers.
Didn't you see what they just did to young MILF Hunter Zach Wilson?
But I feel like out of respect to CJ Stroud, I have to start him this week. You know, like I can't, after he drops 52, I can't just not.
It would be racist.
It would be fucked up, right?
Why would you bench him?
Jared Goff against the Chargers. I have the stack as well with Amon-Ra.
And
The Chargers
on the road,
defense, as much as the Jets would have you think that the Chargers defense is good,
they have
They're
not
not
been
that good.
they have been terrible.
And
Wait, Joey Bosa's not been injured.
And-
yeah.
and on the road against Cincinnati is a lot different than on the road against
Oh my god, that
the
LA
Chargers.
stadium is going to be filled with Lions fans.
exactly. I mean, Lions fans
Yeah.
travel. That's a home game for them.
But yeah, I'm going to pick myself let's go ahead and get the pod curse in here so that
That's a sweet.
so that
You need a
I
drop
can
for that.
I can break.
We do need
the
a
pod
drop.
sweep drop.
It's got to be like a ghost saying it,
the sweep.
or like the Grim Reaper.
Curse.
It's got to be like the
Curse.
Grim Reaper.
I mean-
Can we have? How much does Kevin Durant cost a cameo?
12. Next up, and last up,
Matchup of the week.
Matchup of
Yeah.
matchup of
Matchup of the week.
matchup of
Matchup of the week.
matchup
Matchup of the week. Matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
There's like a lot of words where I'm looking at, so it's hard to like find the right word when I'm.
I
All
just
right, next
got
up.
I got frightened.
next up, the matzah of the week.
Oh God!
We don't want-
Oh God! He has to start Jordan Love.
We don't want to. He started him last week as well.
I thought that was like a desperation play.
You don't want to assume that this is a last desperation playoff
Wait,
matchup.
there's like so many games left. All we have to
There's
get.
five.
to
Dan's gonna be
is-
Dan's gonna be saying this
there's
in week
this many.
13.
Yeah, there's this.
We're gonna be
many
looking
games.
at a
No,
matchup
dude.
that actually knocks somebody out of the playoffs, and he's gonna be going, "There's just so many weeks left."
Week 13,
There-
I like already have lost. So whoever plays me week 13, they're a lucky fucker.
There's
Why we
5 games left. However, this is not a huge implication playoff decider. We got Wu-Tang Dan, Daniel Evan Hogan's, Josh Rosen, the matzah of the week, matchup of the week. Dan's projected to win by 16 points, just about.
Give me that. Give me Dan.
And it's tough to not pick Dan, which I'm sure we would all like to, but I'm sure Dan will not.
I don't know, man. I'm scared.
Who
I've
did
gotten
Nick
it
pick?
wrong I think I've picked my own game wrong every single week.
Who did Nick pick? Nick
He
pick?
picked Dan.
Did he?
Yeah.
I'm
Dan-
also going to have to pick Dan, unfortunately.
Your position rankings are starting to look good, which is when you need to get nervous.
Nah, I don't want to do it. You pick first, Josh.
I picked you. I said, "Give me Dan."
Oh.
Dan.
All right, I'll take it on to you, Leo. Pod
Yeah?
sweep. Yeah.
Double
my
pod
team's
sweeps by the
finally
pod
coming in
players.
itself.
He's so back. He's so back. Dan,
There was no 50-50 splits this week. All threes and
only-
ones and then 2 sweeps.
the only way you lose is if the Washington Commander team of football just obliterates the Seahawks
Imagine.
in Seattle after getting destroyed by the Ravens. So
This man- You better hope fucking Justin Jefferson isn't coming back this week, or else the Commanders are about to run buck wild all over you, dude.
I'm not too worried about that.
But
the
yeah,
Washington Commanders, man.
that's what we got for you, boys.
That was one of my
week-
funnier jokes ever.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. Please repeat
No,
it. for
I said the
program.
Washington Commanders. It's fine.
So that was one of his best jokes.
I got him locked. Bingo.
Locks of the week.
Bingo.
The Suns win yet?
Guess who got their bets right last week and guess who got them wrong? If you haven't been paying attention, it's been pretty much right who it's going to be.
It's Nick and I.
Yeah, Josh and Nick did not hit their bets again. Leo and I both hit ours. I took, yeah. So looking at the standings, Leo's in first, 6-3, $13 up. I'm in second at 5-4, $3 up. And
You're in the
they are
positive?
both- the other two are in last at 2-7, both $24, $25 under.
I'm shocked I've won 2.
I would like to make it
Just-
public that the Sharp is very upset that you are not tracking their bets.
He's told me. I mean, who's the sharp?
They are like 13-1 or something.
He's
ridiculous.
A1.
What people
He's
What people
he's
don't know-
7-1 because he didn't do the first week.
Yeah, you missed the first week, but
what
yeah,
people don't know is the Sharp is actually
Shannon Sharp.
Nick Radford.
wow. I love that you took a breath to try to think of a name,
And I came up
and the
with Nick.
best you came up with was Nick.
I forgot
anyways.
I forgot who the people in our league were, I'll be honest.
Josh, what you should start doing is like whatever you're gonna pick for the bet, just pick the opposite of it.
Okay, I'll
You
do
should-
that this week then.
You should pick the opposite of Nick's, honestly, because
That's
boy,
not
is
a
he
bad
not
idea.
good at this. All right. Who wants to go first?
All right, I'm
Josh?
taking I'm now going to take the opposite of what I was planning on taking because of you
I love
guys.
it.
I like it.
Give me the Jets -1 for -104 against
Oh,
the
no.
Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders. I like it though because the new coach buff has now worn off. So the Raiders are going to be back to normal, and they're not
Yeah, the
going
Raiders
to
are in a flat spot.
Giants.
When are the Raiders
So-
going to realize Antonio Pierce ruined ASU?
Yeah, honestly. Nick took the Packers and Steelers under 38.5.
Fun
Actually,
fact.
probably.
I did have a fun fact for this.
That's right.
It's about the
Ah.
Steelers.
Unders are hitting at an insane rate this year, something around 62, 63%.
Damn.
Is the under hitting just across all the NFL in general. And yet, Nick continues to pick the unders that are not
Not
even
high.
close to hitting.
That's impressive.
So he picked the Bugs Texans. I just want to let the people
Yeah.
know.
It-
He picked the Bugs Texans last week, which the total was
Each
70
of them.
something.
each of them almost beat the under.
I mean,
themselves.
he has a knack for
Wait, so-
picking the incorrect under.
Are you saying that if Nick is taking an under, make sure you have players in that game?
You should hammer the over. You should put all your players in. You should
I'm
just
gonna
do
use
What
this
so
on
I
many.
was
DFS.
saying is Nick throwing a dart on the dartboard to pick an under on a game would be better than Nick going to choose a game for them.
Because he, for some reason, is just so convinced that the under is what he should be going with every week, and I respect that honestly. But at the same time, boy, is he bad.
I do have you made me think of a Steelers fact I saw yesterday that was really interesting. They're 5-3, and they've been outgained in every game this year. The other
Wow.
the other
That's
teams had more
actually
offense in
very
every game.
crazy.
That's insane.
I'm gonna go on that note with a parlay.
All right, see you later. Oh.
I teased up some points under on the Colts Pats 45.5. I think it was originally at 41, and then over on the Texans Bengals game 41.5. Tease that down as well. So that parlay together is 130.
I like it.
I love it.
I like it a lot, actually. I am going to, for my pick, go with a pick that I typically wouldn't prefer to go with, but
A tie. You're picking a tie.
He's picking a
I-
tie tomorrow.
I usually don't like to pick against home dogs.
Yeah.
However, this week I will be taking at -118.
So proud of you, dude.
I will be taking the New Orleans Saints at the Minnesota Vikings. I got them at -2.5. I'm assuming that line is going to keep changing up until game time. However, I think
You don't like Josh Dobbs?
I think the Vikings are a little overhyped due to what the Pastronaut was able to accomplish last week.
It's just so funny that it's clear as day that national people had not actually watched Josh Dobbs play football the past 4 weeks.
He's getting so
haven't
much
watched-
hype from it.
They haven't watched a single Cardinals game. Which, I mean, why
Which
would
neither
they?
have
We
I.
Why
haven't-
would you? Why would
Yeah.
you? But also, it was pretty clear that Josh Dobbs.
I think we can all agree there's been many games where the Cardinals defense has kept us in competitive games, in a competitive situation, and then Josh Dobbs will have a brain dead turnover that will
Those,
completely.
I think
those
there's
two
worse quarterbacks in
interceptions
the league,
against-
though.
well, I mean, Clayton Tune last week had how many yards of total offense?
12.
Something like that. I mean, so there's obviously very bad quarterbacks, but Josh Dobbs just makes horrible decisions for a rocket scientist.
I agree.
Who's worse?
So
Zach
that's
Wilson,
my pick.
Zach Wilson or Josh Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs. Josh
I think
Dobbs.
I would go with Josh Dobbs. He at least has
Josh-
the feet.
I think Josh Dobbs is better for fantasy than Zach Wilson.
I'm talking
Zach
about-
Wilson's a
I'm talking
better
about real life.
real life quarterback.
No.
Zach
In
Wilson's
fact, I
a
would
fucking
flip
idiot.
those
You think Zach
Zach
Wilson
Wilson's
is better for fantasy?
fantasy?
because of Zach Wilson will have 3 incredible drives at the end of the game where you'll just be like, "What the
To
fuck did I
get
just watch?"
all the way to 11 points.
Yeah, dude. Josh Dobbs will finish. We'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm running." 6 turnovers later.
I'm
Oh,
running. I'm
fuck.
bald.
Yeah.
Josh
Oh,
Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is the number 10 quarterback in fantasy right now, and Zach Wilson is the number 28.
Wow.
It's his rushing.
It's the running, which
It's
is
the
why.
running.
I think if I
Which is
in
something
real
Zach
life
Wilson
and
should probably
fantasy,
do more.
I would
But
pick.
anyways,
he
that
should-
was my
He should do
lock.
more is bang his friends' moms. That's what he should do.
Oh, dude, he should be doing so much more of that, and he just
He should be
isn't.
doing whatever Aaron Rodgers is doing. But
Ayahuasca.
anyways,
Ketamine.
I have the sharp bet of the week. I believe he's like 73-1. So last week he had the Chargers, right?
Yeah, there was a big long spiel. I think.
Actually, yeah, because we were. On,
I think he had the Chargers. All I'm saying is the Sharp has been very vocal about you keeping track of his picks, so maybe you could start doing it like right now. Maybe
He can tell me himself,
next up.
and he has, and I still.
How do you know? How do you know it's a he? First of all, you.
I
Should
mean,
be
who is
assuming.
it? Who's Shannon Sharp?
Nick
You
Radford.
shouldn't be assuming. All right, so
All right, I'm gonna end
Bush
it.
did-
Hurry the fuck up.
he started off with Bush did 9/11 for my Week 10 Log Pod Sharp pick.
I'm so in on him.
I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals minus 6.5 versus the Texans. Stop me if you've heard this before. It's a flat spot.
Oh, it's so flat. Is it the Earth?
This pick is a fade of CJ Stroud's performance against a bad Tampa Bay defense, which ranks number 25 in defensive passing EPA. Houston will be flat this game against the Cincinnati team, who have held the number 1 and number 2 offenses, Buffalo and San Francisco, to 17 and 18 points in the last 2 games. To top it off, since 2019, when Cincinnati has a rest disadvantage, aka less days between games than the opponent, they are 9-3 against the spread, 75%. On the flip side, since 2019, when Houston has a rest advantage, they are 3-10 against the spread, 23%. Give me the Bengals minus 6.5 at minus 115. Lock it in. Here we go.
Here we go.
So yeah, I already put some money on it. A couple other flat spots this week if you're interested, but that's going to cost you.
You know
have
what's
to sign up to the
crazy?
Patreon. All right, everybody, thank you for listening. Nick, go fuck yourself.
You're never going to hear us say it.
So, yeah.
Bye.